What's up, I'm Gannon Buhr. I play for Team Prodigy, and this is what I'm carrying in the 2023 season. So my philosophy when it comes to my bag is throw the same disc on different angles instead of throwing a different disc on the same angle. So I don't carry as many discs as a lot of people do. I have a couple more discs in here just for this weekend. Some discs are like specifically for water shots, just because I don't care too much if I lose it. So I have my kind of favorites I have, and then some that I still trust very, very well, but I can use them where danger is involved. I can lose the disc or there's water. So yeah, that's pretty much my philosophy of my bag. So starting off with the putters. Putting putters, I putt with the 300 Firm PA3. Right here I have my Blue Ridge Championship run, which is made in the 300 Firm Glow plastic. So this one's nice and stiff. That's really what I look for in a putting putter. I use the PA3 because it has a nice bead on the bottom. I like to put my finger there and I get a consistent release every time, I feel like. PA3 is also nice and overstable at the end of the flight. So on longer putts, I can really trust it in wind. It's always gonna have a nice little left finish. And PA3 also doesn't have a lot of glide, which I'm a huge fan of because I think putting, you can be more accurate if it's more of a pitch, where it's just kind of going up and down instead of letting it fly. So having less glide, stiff plastic, the beads, pretty much my ideal putter right here. And I got another one, I kind of intertwine them. That's my other backup putter. And then I got my 300 Firm GB PA3. This will be on my player store. Same exact thing, except for I throw this one. This one I never putt with. I'll putt with it in the morning warming up, but if I need a straight shot on the course, I need to sit down nice and soft on the grass, I'll just throw the putter pretty much dead straight. I can hold any angle I want, turn over, hyzer, or if I need to get out of trouble with the forehand, I'll throw that. Moving on to my overstable throwing putter, I use the 750 PX3. Thank you to Ezra. This one's super sick. PX3 is I feel like a pretty underrated disc. I threw it a lot last year actually, kind of went away from it and now I'm back to it. PX3 is nice straight to overstable for me. It's got a ton of glide, probably the glidiest putter I throw. So this one actually goes really far. I can probably throw this up to like 380 if I really need to. But I like this one for kind of touchy shots. My preferred angles, slight anhyzer out of the hand, I can get it to come nice and flat and sit right next to the basket. That's pretty much my preferred angle. And PX3 is it's great, especially the premium plastic, will last a while, nice and stiff. 400 PA4 is my last throwing putter. This one's slightly understable. This one's pretty beat up. I've had this in my bag for in and out for a couple years now, and I can throw it on a slight hyzer out of my hand. It'll pop up to flat and get a late turn because of the slow flight, and slightly understable. Great disc, great for playing catch in the morning. Very slow, sits right next to the basket. Moving on to my A2, I carry the 450 A2. This run specifically has a nice dome. If I can find my A2s with some dome, that's kind of what I like, especially if they're a little stiffer. This run is kind of medium stiffness, but the A2 is such a great mold because it's so overstable and a little bit lower profile, so you can it feels great for forehand and backhand. A lot of people don't really throw it backhand as much. They throw more of the base plastic ones, but I do prefer the premium plastic because it holds its stability a little bit longer, nice and durable, really overstable. Any premium plastic A2 is gonna fly about the same, so I use this for chop forehands in the woods. I need to come here, come out. Because it's slow and overstable, it is good for distance control shots that I know can only go so far. So if I rangefinder the basket or some area I'm trying to throw and it's about 300 to 350, I'll probably just rip my A2 on forehand or backhand, and that's what I'm really liking the A2 for. I only carry 2 mid-ranges in my bag, which is slightly surprising as I feel like I'm one of the better mid-range throwers. I feel like it's one of my strong suits of my game. Right now I carry an M1 in the 750 plastic, nice and stiff. This one is probably my most used mid because I throw it with a slight anhyzer out of my hand, come to flat, finish with maybe a little bit of hyzer. Any kind of gap shot in the woods, I probably throw the M1. I like how it feels. I feel like I can really put some power into it and know it's gonna hold the torque. And so that's that one. And then my other mid-range is actually stamped M1, but it's an M4 in the 400G plastic. The M4 is great for beginners, I feel like, and pros alike. For beginners, you probably get a nice straight flight. For me, I get a little bit of hyzer flip and it'll hold the entire way. So I think with these two mid-ranges, I can fill any mid-range slot I need. I could carry a dead straight mid, but I can either just throw this one on flex to flat, or this one on hyzer to flat. Mids are so slow flying that you don't really need to carry that many, I feel like. And but the M4 is pretty fast for a mid, I feel like, and I can get this one up to about 400 feet if I need to. My favorite shot to throw with this is probably in a tailwind. I can just really rip into it, dead straight. It's one of the best flying discs in the game. Moving on to my fairway drivers. Right now I'm carrying 5. It's probably gonna be pretty typical for me. I might go between 3 and 5, but right now I got 5. The FX2 is one of my favorites. I got them in the 500 and the 750 plastic. This 500 one was drawn on by Gavin Babcock and Alden Harris. This one is my straighter one, so I can throw this one straight flat. It might turn a tiny, tiny bit if I really rip into it, but it always has a nice slight hyzer finish. If you can find an FX2, beat it up. It's gonna be one of your straightest flying discs, but also have a nice consistent finish at the end. So it's really great for that slot. And I'm so happy I have this in my bag. It's definitely a game changer for me. Next up is the 750 from Greasy Dies. Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite discs in my bag, actually. This one's got a nice dome to it. I like my overstable FX2 to have a little bit of dome. I feel like it holds lines a little bit better and it'll smoothly come out of it. But this one's just more overstable than that one, and more wind, or I need to go left, maybe a forehand, I'll probably throw this one. And that's why I like that one. Next up is another one of my favorite discs in my bag, is the FX4 in the 400 plastic. We saw Isaac Robinson play super good at Champions Cup with this, lacing every single gap in every single fairway. The FX4, just dead straight flying. For me, my favorite shot with it is a slight hyzer out of the hand to flat and kind of ride right the entire flight. This one's been in my bag for a little over a year now, and stability hasn't changed that much. This plastic holds up really well, and you know, make sure to go get your FX4s. They're gonna be so good for any skill level. Next up, I have a 750H1 in my bag. This one is really just a utility disc. It's super overstable, slight dome to it. Like I said, in 750 plastic, nice and stiff, just how I like it. And I'll throw this one for, once again, speed control shots, chip forehands, or really overstable backhands, or if I need to flex something in the woods. That's what the H1's for. And then actually another one of my favorite discs is the H7. This one kind of changed my roller game and my scramble game. It's so understable. It's so good for beginners. You know, beginner really wants to get that nice hyzer flip flight, and this will do it for you. This will hold the anhyzer the whole way. For me, I use it for rollers or get out of trouble shots. The reason I like the H7 for rollers is because I can throw it flat out of my hand. I don't have to put it on the roller angle, and it'll get to the angle for me, hit on the cut, and keep rolling all the way through the flight. And then forehands, you know, I can throw it forehand roller, flat, hit on the cut, roll, or just fun shots. I throw it all over the course just for fun, especially down hills, because you can put on a ton of hyzer. It'll slowly flip up the whole flight. Super fun to mess around with. And last up, we got the drivers. Right now, I have a couple more drivers than I usually carry. Just a couple more slots that I'm, you know, trying to fill, or maybe a couple water discs in there. Starting off, I got the 750X1. This one's just crazy overstable. I use this for grenades. I've started to throw a couple more grenades as I, you know, keep advancing in my game. It feels really good. And this one is used a lot for chopped forehands out of the hand, or, you know, nice overstable backhands that I need to go, you know, not too far, maybe a little over 400 feet, but really consistent. Moving on to my D1s. These are definitely my two most used discs in my bag. These are both lightweight D1s. They're 167 and 166. Now this purple one's a little bit straighter, been in my bag a little bit longer, about 2 years now, hasn't left the bag one time. This one's, it's just straight, just dead straight, and you never really find that with drivers, and I think that's, you really gotta beat them up to get that way, but you know, I'm so grateful to have this one. This one's great for my power forehand that I wanted to kind of carry a little bit straighter, but still have an overstable finish. But I love this one in the woods backhand because I can throw it in the woods, get the distance driver distance, but the fairway driver flight. So it's just like my FX4, a little more overstable, really consistent. And then this one, just a little more overstable. I throw this one probably more right now, but if it's a little bit windier, I throw it. I can trust a little bit more overstable forehands, more flex out of the hand. So they're very similar, but just enough different to where I use them both a ton, about the same amount of times. Moving on to my Falcores. I carry 3 right now in the bag. Right now, this one is my really understable one. This one I've been using for rollers a lot recently. I throw with a slight anhyzer, hit roller. And the Falcore, because it's not that understable of a disc, but this one's really beat up, will kind of hold that cut angle for a long time. I can get the rollers to go super far with this. My other favorite shot is a nice little forehand flip up to flat, ride a little bit left, and then come back, or just big turnover, late flip backhands. The other 2 500 Falcores I have, this one's pretty much brand new, and then this one's a little bit used. And the little bit used one is not quite as understable as that. I can kind of get it to hyzer flip, hold, and then maybe come back at the end. And then, yeah, I kind of just put that in my bag, so I'm still working with that one. And same one with this. This one just got put in my bag. This one, see a little bit more dome on that one. This one's a little more stable for a Falcore actually. And this is my max distance disc right now. Slight hyzer to flip up and get the fade, a little more dome than the other pink one, but I prefer this one. Haven't really tried forehanding these too much, but you know, they're useful when I need them for big bombs. Last up is a really overstable D3 in the 400 plastic. It's got a D5 stamp on it actually, which is kind of funny. Always nice to have some joke discs in your bag that have funny stamps. But yeah, this D3 is my workhorse in the wind or any overstable shot I need. A little flex out of my hand, I get to come back almost every time. Same with forehands. And yeah, this is used a ton, especially when it's windy on a golf course and you need to place it where you want to. And the last disc in my bag, this really is almost as never in my bag, but it's a 500 D2, Justin Rozak stamp. Go check it out, super cool, go support him. And you know, this one, I love it for over water shots where I'm not too scared of losing it, but I still need good distance and good stability. It's very similar to the Falcore, but like I said, just don't really care too much about losing it because I can replace it as it's a stock run of the 500 D2. So nice to throw those. And I'm carrying the Prodigy Apex XL bag. This has been holding up really well. You know, no rips or tears in it yet. It's just nice and sturdy and can carry everything I want while not being too big of a bag. So it's pretty much my ideal disc golf bag. Looks amazing, feels amazing, nice and lightweight. So that's what I'm carrying in my bag for the 2023 disc golf season. I feel really comfortable. I feel like I'm not missing any slots. I have every single shot I would ever need. And if you want to go check out any of these discs, go to prodigydisc.com to support us. Support the players, it means a lot. And thanks for watching.